Hello, we are live. Welcome to my live stream today. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I am pretty tired today, so I'm really not sure how functional I'm going to be or how my words are going to come out, but we'll give this a go. First of all, I want to ask you that are I want to ask those of you that are here to help me with my sound. I've been having some sound issues with live streaming. Some of you might have noticed that the sound is a little bit quiet when I'm streaming. Hi Amy, hi Susan, hi everyone. So with my sound being a bit quiet, I'm wondering whether my microphone, my external microphone that I use is actually helping or not. So is this better than it usually is when I use my external mic? If it is, then I'm just going to not use my external mic, rely on my phone's mic. Yeah, it sounds louder. Brilliant. I think I've been plugging in a device that's supposed to make it louder that's actually been making it quieter. So hooray! Let's not do that anymore. How is everyone? We are in week 11. I believe this is my 11th. No, actually, I think this is my 12th. Correct me if I'm wrong, live stream of the lockdown. So I guess you're all getting used to seeing this face once a week on a Wednesday, and it's been lovely to be here. I am doing something a little bit different again today. I have got the usual book, film and movie recommendations, and I've also been collecting during the week your would you rather questions to answer this afternoon. Yes, there are some new emojis. If you're purple people, check it out. There are some new emojis for you to use. There's a bubble tea and there's a sushi emoji, which I'm very pleased with because we got a load of new members, which means that I was able to draw new emojis for you. Hooray! Yes, so I've been collecting your would you rather questions throughout the week. So shall we get started with some of those before I get into book of the week, etc.? So the first would you rather, I haven't written down who sent them, so I probably should have done that because that would have been a professional YouTuber thing to do, but I didn't, so we'll just get into them and you'll know which ones are yours. You tried bubble tea, Beth, hooray, and you liked it, yay, lovely. I'm averaging bubble tea 2 to 3 times a week at the moment because it's helping my mental health, coping with the ever-changing lockdown and the uncertainty around what on earth we're supposed to be doing to keep ourselves safe and the lack of guidance from the UK government therewith. So yes, bubble tea is keeping me going. Right, my first would you rather is, would you rather see everything in purple or never see purple again? I've been mulling over some of these and this one I'm really flummoxed with. Everything in purple or never see purple again. I think I'm going to go with everything in purple. I think I could live in a world where everything was just purple. Obviously, no problem. Definitely. And the next one is, would you rather be the most intelligent person in the room but you can't speak, or the opposite but you talk way too much? Now there are some people who would say that I am already the latter. Would I rather be the most intelligent person in the room but you can't speak, or the opposite but you talk way too much? I think I'm going to go with the least intelligent person in the room who talks too much, because I have a theory that if I were the least intelligent person in the room, and goodness knows how we're measuring intelligence here, it's just a bit of fun, guys. If I were the least intelligent person in the room, I wouldn't be aware that I was the least intelligent person in the room because I wouldn't be intelligent enough to notice. So I wouldn't be frustrated by my lack of intelligence, and I probably wouldn't mind talking too much. Whereas if I were the most intelligent person in the room and I couldn't talk, that would probably be really frustrating, although I'm sure there are lots of very intelligent people who can't talk. But for coming from being able to talk, that would probably be really frustrating. So yes, Catherine, ignorance is indeed bliss. If you have any would you rathers whilst I'm doing this, or any other questions for that matter, feel free to put those in the comments and Mr. Purple will pass those over to me as they come in. So this is a good one. Would you rather only have bubble tea or only have sushi for the rest of your life? So those of you who watch me regularly will know that I am a big fan of both bubble tea and sushi. In fact, we just recently learned how to make sushi at home and we've had it twice and it's absolutely brilliant. So would I rather have only bubble tea or only sushi? I'm gonna go with only bubble tea. That's really hard. I'm like, I don't want to answer that question. That's mean. I want to have both in every meal. Oh, the cat's just come to see me. Katsu, you need to come over here. Come over here and say hi. You see the cat tail. Here is Katsu, being very friendly. Hey, Katsu. Oh no, it's okay. I think it's quite amusing that you can just see her tail. It's her paintbrush. She's got a little white tip. Okay, so after that heartbreaking question, moving on. Would you rather explore space or the bottom of the ocean? Honestly, I don't really want to do either of those things because I am lacking in courage when it comes to activities like this. And I can think of, yay, welcome to the purple people, Ashley. Thanks for joining. I would be scared of the scariness of both of these experiences. Would I rather explore space or the bottom of the ocean? So I'm going to assume that I'm doing either of those things whilst being completely safe, in which case I think I'd rather explore the bottom of the ocean, because I would really like to see one of those fish with the dangly things, you know, the dangly, light up dangly thing fish that you... Why am I trying to do an impression of a... What are they called, those fish? Anglerfish. Don't know why I'm... Anglerfish. Yeah. Yeah, I think the bottom of the ocean, because I could see anglerfish. I might find shipwrecks. Would they be at the bottom of the ocean? What do you think? How deep are we going? I don't know. I just think that space is a little bit too big and overwhelming, and that the bottom of the ocean might be just as different and exciting without the fear of the fact that I was in space. That's what I'm going to go with. Okay. Oh my goodness. Some of these are really challenging. Why did I do this to myself? Would you rather have no internet or spend the rest of your life with acne? I mean, those of you who've watched my video regularly will notice that I have had some issues with acne. One time I did a video where I had a massive spot on my face when I was filming, and I was well aware of it. And I got like 3 comments saying, "What's that massive spot on your face?" Like I might have just not noticed that I'd got a massive spot. Like, it's a spot. That's what it is. So acne isn't that scary to me, although I have found a really good new cleanser, so I seem to be having less acne problems. But I think I would rather have acne for the rest of my life than no internet, because if I didn't have the internet, I couldn't do this, and that would suck. Okay, we'll have one more of these, and then I will tell you, I will get into some questions and also other stuff. So the next one is, would you rather, this is a good one, would you rather have the superpower of speaking and understanding any language, or the superpower of teleportation? So teleportation, I think, is teleportation where you can transport yourself from where you are to wherever you want to be in a moment. Is that what teleportation is? Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Speaking and understanding any language or teleportation. I'd like to have both of those. They both sound really good, but I think I'm going to go with teleportation. It would be quite handy to be able to speak any language whilst being able to teleport, because then you'd be set wherever you went. Maybe I'd need a babel fish. Teleportation and a babel fish, is that an option? When we do Would You Rather in this house, I always try and find like the autistic members of the house will quite often be, but what about this? And what are the rules around that? And could I have this? Mr. Purple's always like, no, it's just would you rather. You're just answering one question. It's simple. It's just not going to be that simple for me. Okay, I'm going to take one question. Hey, Miroslav. Am I saying that right?
Miroslav is a purple person.
Miroslav, who is a purple person. Oh. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay, I'm going to take 2 questions, and then I'm going to do the book of the week, etc.
I've got a few would you rather. Can I just rattle through them and you have to answer them really quickly?
Yeah, okay, I'm going to answer these really quickly.
Let me just... Jake says that if you were out, would you rather be out walking or at home doing arts and crafts?
Would I rather be out walking or at home doing arts and crafts? I would rather be At home doing arts and crafts.
Brenda, would you rather be your age or a different age, and why?
Would I rather be my age or a different age, and why? I would rather be in my 20s, because then I'd know about my autism sooner and might have had more opportunities to fulfill my potential in my life.
Beth, would you rather have a TV or a radio for life?
Would I rather have a TV or a radio for life? A TV, absolutely, every time.
Bryce, would you rather find aliens on another planet or someone just like you on this planet?
Would I rather find aliens on another planet or someone like me on this planet? Aliens on another planet. Big fan of Star Trek.
Susan, could you choose between Doctor Who and Lego?
Could I choose between Doctor Who and Lego? Ooh, Doctor Who.
Well done.
Okay, right, now let's do the Blue Peter section, except for I forgot to ask you for isolation creations this week, so I don't have any, but I do have Lego. Oh, my Lego's broken. The cat has dismantled my Lego. What a clever cat. Doctor Who Lego, nice one. Yeah, I do have, as you know, some Doctor Who Lego. Right, book of the week. In keeping with the Black Lives Matter movement that is happening at the moment, I happen to be reading this book anyway. I started it about a month ago. It is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid, which is about the experiences of a black person working as a nanny in a white family with a white boyfriend, and the fact that everyone around her is more concerned with race than she is. It's a really good book. I'm really enjoying it. It got Times Book of the Week at some point in the last 6 months. Highly recommend it. It's a good one. Show of the week is an old show. This is just an excuse for me to sledgehammer the fact that I love this show into my live stream. Grey's Anatomy. I think I'm on series 16, which is the series that is currently on Now TV. But if you want to start from the beginning, you need to head to Prime, because the first 15 seasons are on Prime at the moment, and they will get season 16 on there eventually. So Grey's Anatomy. Any other Grey's Anatomy fans out there? I love it. And then movie of the week. I thought I'd go for something really cheery and light-hearted, because life has been challenging for all of us lately. So I'm going with Zootropia, which I watched a couple of weeks ago. Actually, I watched it on New Year's Eve but fell asleep. So I watched it again a couple of weeks ago with Wonder Girl. It's not called Zootropia. It's not called Zootropia, it's called Zootropolis. Zootropolis. Thanks, Wonder Girl. Zootropolis. Ignore me. See, I told you my brain wasn't functioning right today. Zootropolis is the one with the bunny and the fox. It's about a very small, very cute bunny rabbit who wants to be in a world where animals can speak and live like humans. And the bunny rabbit wants to be a police officer, and bunny rabbits aren't generally police officers. That would be more like lions and tigers and bears and things. But she manages to become a police officer, but no one takes her seriously. So it's a real person who you wouldn't expect to do this thing succeeds at this thing, and it only has one song in it, which is quite unusual for a Disney movie. But the song that's in it is lovely, and I really love it. So that's my film of the week. So that was Book of the Week, Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. Show of the Week, Grey's Anatomy. And Movie of the Week, Zootropolis, which I've just been informed is actually called Zootropia in America. So maybe I'm just, I don't know, multinational, I don't know how you would describe it. Okay. Have we got any more, or shall I go back to right, I'm going back to my would you rather list. Would you rather relive your life knowing what you know now, or be told what will happen in your future? So essentially, I would do 41 years of knowing what was going to happen and then have a surprise at the end. Not the end, in the last half, let's call it that. Or from here on in, I would know what was going to happen. I think I'm going to go with reliving my life knowing what I know now, because that would actually be quite handy, because I could avoid some of the mistakes that I'd made, probably make a whole new set of mistakes, and then obviously get an autism diagnosis sooner and know that I've got EDS and not become a trapeze artist. Whereas if I knew everything that was going to happen from now, that would be really boring, I think that's what I'm going to go with. What do you guys think? So yeah, just to pause before I carry on. I do want to thank the Purple People. We've had a large number of people join the Purple People in the last couple of weeks, which is lovely. I'm so encouraged. And I will say, actually, that those of you who were here when I had my little live stream meltdown will know that it's been an incredibly frustrating thing for me here, trying to build something on YouTube and not really knowing whether what I'm doing has like value or whether it's the right thing to be doing. And I think that to say to the Purple People, you guys joining the Purple People, giving me that community, giving me that regular monthly income and giving me that sort of sense of purpose has really made a massive difference to my head state about what I'm doing here. I feel like I've got a focus and a goal, and that's not to say that those of you that, obviously I love you all, Purple People or not, and I appreciate that it's not something that everyone could do and that there's no pressure on anyone to do that, but to the people that have joined, thank you so much. You've really changed how I feel about this whole thing, and so yes, thank you. For those of you that don't know, the Purple People is my members club. Go look at the join button on my channel and it will tell you all about it. Perks in exchange for supporting what I do here, essentially. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, this is an easy one. Would you rather go on holiday to a beach location or a forest mountain area? I'm going to let the kids ask that. Beach location or forest mountain area? Where would I go?
Beach.
Beach. Every time. I basically don't consider it a holiday unless I am on a beach. It's really odd compared to the rest of my personality. I'm really quite mainstream when it comes to holidays. I love to go somewhere where I'm gonna eat lots of nice food, lie on a beach, listen to podcasts, swim in the sea if I'm feeling up to it, and drink lemonade and grenadine, preferably with a fancy straw. That's a holiday for me. I don't know why. I think maybe it's my autism. And I'm like, that is a holiday. A holiday involves drinking a cocktail out of a coconut, lying on a sun lounger and reading a book, and therefore that's what I must do. But I do also really enjoy that. Also, sitting around a pool can do it. And I have been recently considering that lakes might be able to substitute beaches. So I might be able to go to Switzerland on holiday. But basically, when Mr. Purple's considering holiday locations, he's like, oh, it's not near the sea. Ella won't want to go. Simple. And yes, Beth, I like that the weather is predictable. I like to go on holiday and know that it's going to be sunny pretty much the whole time that I'm there. I don't want any unpredictable weather and I'm not good with cold. So yes, Switzerland, that's the place that we were considering. Lakes, Switzerland, might substitute a beach, especially if the weather stays the same. Okay, would you rather spend the day, this is an Animal Crossing specific would you rather, but I'm going to answer it anyway because those of you who are watching playing Animal Crossing will get it. Would you rather spend the day with Tom Nook or Isabel? So Tom Nook is a little bear who runs the visitor services, and Isabel, what is Isabel? I think she's a dog. She's a yellow, so Tom Nook is a brown bear and Isabel is a yellow dog, and they both run visitor services when you get to that point on Animal Crossing New Horizons. And I'm going to go with that I would rather spend the day with Isabel because she spends a lot of time talking about the TV that she watches when you first start the game, and I think that I could definitely hang with her and watch some Netflix, and that would be great. Have we got any more from the, I'm sure I saw some going past. No? Okay. Would you rather be a dog or a cat? A dog or a cat? Now, unusually, you are supposed to claim to be a dog person or a cat person, aren't you? But as you guys know, I have both a dog and a cat, and I love them both dearly. If I had to choose to be one, I think I'm going to go with cat, because my dog eats cat poo for a start off, and I don't fancy doing that. Dogs greet each other by sniffing each other's bums. I don't fancy doing that. My cat spends most of her day lounging in a sunny spot, apart from when she gets up because she fancies a stroke or she wants to eat. So, yeah, I know, it's disgusting, isn't it, Katie? Really, really foul. I let that thing snuggle up to me right after she's done it. She used to bring it into the house like a special treat, but we've managed to stop her doing that. That is the downside to having a dog and a cat. Yeah. So, yes. Yeah, it's really foul. Perhaps I shouldn't be getting into this on a live stream, but my dog does some pretty disgusting things. Yeah, you think it's the Shih Tzu in her? Yeah, it might be. I don't know what it is, but it's like, it used to be at the point where if the cat left the house, you knew what the cat was going to do. And the dog also knew what the cat was going to do. So the dog would follow the cat for its little treat, for her little treat, delivered warm, if you like. And that's all I'm going to say about that for those of you who might be eating. Right, before I move on, I'm going to show you my Lego. So the Lego that I have this week is Harry Potter and Hagrid. So I'm a big fan of the Brickheads range. I've got quite a few of them. And
somebody said they went to the Lanzarote and it snowed.
It snowed in Lanzarote. That would upset me a lot. Unless it was winter and it was supposed to snow. But if I was going there for a summer beach holiday and it snowed, no, just no. Harry Potter and Hagrid Brickheads, how cool are they? I love that Harry's glasses are slightly wonky. I don't know whether they're supposed to be, but I love that. And I love that Hagrid is probably massively out of proportion to what size an owl should be next to Harry Potter. But yes, I do love those. They came as a set. Yeah. And the funny thing is, on the Brickheads, on the front of Brickhead boxes, there is a number, 1583, for example. And for a long time, because I've been collecting Brickheads for probably about 3 years, I thought that that number was how many bricks were in the Brickhead, which I really liked. I really liked that idea until Mr. Purple pointed out that there is no way that there are 6,000 bricks in these two sets, and that therefore it's just a model number. It's not the number of bricks, Ella. Wrong. Just wrong. Are they official Harry Potter merch? I'm not sure whether they're official. What makes something official? Is it like, oh, you've started thank you, Beth. You've started a Titanic Lego set. Oh, epic. I definitely need a picture of that when it's made for the isolation creation sharing. Yeah, so is the sound still better with no mic? I can't believe I've been plugging in a thing that makes it sound worse. What am I like? Technically, I am actually going to purchase a proper webcam with a built-in mic and all the stuff that you need for that, but I just haven't had the time to sort that out yet because I'm very busy for some reason. Okay, oh, this is a good one. Would you rather be so small no one can hear you, or so tall that no one can hear you? I think that I would rather be so small that no one can hear me because I like being small. I am 5'3", which is relatively small, not ridiculously small. I am actually the tallest person in my family. My mum is about 4'9", I think. My sister is about 5'1"-ish. So I used to tower above them at 5'3". Well, I still do. They still exist. And I really like being small. When I was in school, I was smaller than most of the children in my class, to the point where a school nurse told my mum that she needed to do something about the fact that I was small, and my mum was like, what do you want me to do? Put her on a stretching rack? How tall is Mr. Purple? I don't know, 5'11"-ish? Yeah, 5'11"-ish. Tall enough for me to have to look up at him adoringly.
I just said tall enough, but I don't want information about him.
No, sorry. Oversharing on the Mr. Purple front. He's a very private person. We don't do that. Were there any more questions before I move on?
No?
No?
We're all just chatting to each other.
Oh, it's lovely that you're all chatting to each other, though. I quite like it. You must all be getting to know each other now, whilst in the chat of my live stream. At some point in the future, I will make like a community for the purple people where we can chat like that, but I'm trying not to take on more things than I should at once, so that I don't lose my momentum, because, you know, oh, thanks, Amy. I like those. So, would you, this is quite a funny one. I'm not sure whether I should have included this, but it did make me laugh. Would you rather, would you rather have hands for boobs or boobs for hands? Sorry, I'm so juvenile sometimes. You wouldn't believe how juvenile I actually can be. Would I rather have hands for boobs or boobs for hands? I think I would rather have hands for boobs, because I don't think boobs would be very good for writing or making phone calls or gesturing or anything for that matter. So I think I'd rather have hands for boobs. And I would actually quite like to try that for a day, because then you'd have 4. have 4 hands. So you could be like, just hold this for a second. You could hold your cup of tea with one boob, your phone with another, and write with your hands. Oh, sorry. When I wrote the question down, I didn't really think about what it actually meant, but now that I have, that has amused me quite a lot, and I'm going to make my mascara run and everything. Okay, let's all have a collective breath and breathe in and breathe out. Okay, moving on from boob hands. I'm coming to the end of this, so I'm going to need some more would you rathers if you'd like me carrying on, or just questions generally. Would you rather live, this is quite an obvious and easy one, but I don't want to miss it out. Would you rather live in a beach house in a hot country or a quiet log cabin in colder climates? Now, I would obviously rather live in a beach house. In fact, a beach house in a hot country, hey, thanks Beth, booby hand. I know exactly. You started me off again, come on now. I'll probably wake up in the night laughing about that. You know when something tickles you and you just keep laughing about it later? That's going to be one of those, I think. So thanks, whoever it was that gave me that question, thank you. Thanks for the laugh. We all need a laugh right now, don't we? A beach house is actually my dream house. I would absolutely love to live in a beach house. I don't know whether any of you have watched Frankie and Grace. If you have, the beach house in Frankie and Grace, I would love to live there. That would basically be my, or if you've watched Extras, the beach house that Joey lives in Extras, dream house, definitely, every time. Yeah, I love Frankie and Grace. It's great, isn't it? Is there more references to booby hands?
A boob hand is a hoobie.
Hoobie. I love it. That was, what made someone think of that? I don't know. Okay. Right, I've got 2 more. Would you rather sing everything you say or dance everywhere you go? Now, when I got that question, I thought both. Because when I was younger, basically my entire ambition from about the age of 5 up until, well, now really, but it's a bit of a pipe dream these days, was to be in an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. When I was little, my family were really into musicals, and they took me to see Joseph and Phantom of the Opera and Les Mis and Cats, and I was very fortunate. I was taken to see lots of the sort of West End shows, and absolutely wanted to be in one of them. And therefore, choosing between singing everything I say or dancing everywhere I go is a really tricky one, because I would just be doing both. But I think if I had to pick, I would go with singing everything I say. In fact, should we start that now? Should I just do that from now on? That wouldn't be annoying for my family. I do sing a lot. I'm always singing. People will, in my house, will assure you that I'm always singing. Sometimes better, sometimes worse, but always singing. Okay, the last one is, would you rather have booby hands? No. Would you rather... Pull it together, Ella, you're on a live stream. And I'm back in the room. Would you rather be stuck in a ball pit or a giant bouncy castle? I mean, the thing with ball pits, because I used to spend quite a lot of time in ball pits when my children were very top scientists on boob hands. When my children were very small, I used to spend quite a lot of time in ball pits at soft play centres, and the thing that I would always think when we were in a ball pit, a soft play centre, was somebody's probably weed in here. Always, every time. That's just what I always thought, and it just sit there feeling really uncomfortable. So I think that would be kind of hellish for me. So I think I'm going to go with giant bouncy castle, because bouncy castles are really fun, and I definitely would actually quite like to be stuck in a bouncy castle for a while. Yep, have I got another question?
Would you rather, Berry asks, would you rather go to Hogwarts or to Mallory Towers?
Would I rather go to Hogwarts or Mallory Towers? Ooh, that's hard. Can I have aspects of each? I always want both. Can I have both? Can I have both? I think Hogwarts, because although Mallory Towers and Midnight Feasts by the swimming pool would be awesome, Hogwarts would involve being a witch, and I would absolutely love to be a witch and be able to do magic. So I think I'm going to go with Hogwarts. Good question. anymore, or shall I just start rambling inanely, or should we go back to, no, let's not go back, let's not go back to that question.
So I'm trying to keep abreast of things.
He said he's just trying to keep abreast of things.
Yeah, okay. Somebody said
dear.
the top scientist could be commemorated with a bust.
This will be known as the live stream where we just made lots of boob jokes, I think. Yeah, and not ones about seagulls. Isn't there a bird that's called a booby?
Yes.
Yes, there is. I haven't just made that up. Thank goodness. So, yeah, let me tell you about a very non-autism friendly thing that happened to me today, because I wanted to share it with you because I'm so frustrated with the way that the world works. The world is wrong and I would like to fix it. So the good news is that I saw a specialist EDS physiotherapist on video chat for an assessment today. So at my local hospital, they have a specialist physiotherapist who deals with people with hypermobility related issues. And I had my initial assessment. Now get this, I was told that I would have an appointment at 12 o'clock today. So I arranged my entire day around having an appointment at 12 o'clock today, and doing this at 4 o'clock, and home educating the children this morning. And at 20 to 11, the physiotherapist rang me, which is obviously an hour and 20 minutes prior to the appointment time I was supposed to have, which will not do. So I said, oh, no, I'm in the middle of something. Wonder Girl was literally on an online lesson with her tutor, so I couldn't do them. So 12 o'clock came and I went and set myself up in my new office where you guys who are watching my videos will have seen I am doing my films at the moment, my videos at the moment, which is great. With my laptop, got into the room that I had to be in, the online chat room that I had to be in, waited for half an hour, which was quite frustrating. So then I rang the hospital phone number that I had been rung on by the physiotherapist at 20 to 11, and I got a very, very lovely and helpful call operative who said to me, I can't speak directly to the physiotherapy department. There's no way for me to do that. I'll have to email them. And I was like, what? Hang on, you are the physiotherapy department. No, we're just the call handlers for the physiotherapy department. So they could be anywhere in the hospital, so I can't ring them. And I was like, well, I mean, they're not anywhere because I'm supposed to be having an appointment. And she was lovely. She was really, I mean, everyone that works for the NHS is generally lovely, aren't they? It's no individual person's problem that there are fundamental problems with the system. So I said, explain that I was autistic and how difficult this was for me. And it all got sorted out, and I did see the physiotherapist at like 1:45. I was due to have my lunch, which probably didn't contribute to my mood, but I did also cry, which, they made me cry, man. So I think the thing that bothered me about this was that, the world is just not set up for autistic people. People say they're going to do things at certain times and then they just don't. Or people say they're going to do things and then they just don't. And I, structure my life and, make videos about structuring your life in order to accommodate your autism and live your best life and be calm and be peaceful and yada, yada, yada. And then the world just does not cooperate. And I think there was somewhere in there that my brain went, it doesn't matter how hard I try, these will always be a problem. The world will always be a problem. So how do I handle sudden phone calls? Not well. I actually had an unexpected gastroenterology appointment 2 weeks ago. My gastroenterologist rang me up out of the blue to have an appointment with me, and I had to have an appointment. Just oh, it's time for your appointment now. We didn't send a letter or let you know you're having an appointment, but here you go, have an appointment. Which, when getting hold of an appointment with a specialist is really, really, really hard, you don't really want to miss that opportunity to have been prepared in the way that I so often advise you guys to do when you're speaking to a doctor, by having a list and maybe scripting a little bit and, knowing what you're doing. No, suddenly on the phone with the gastroenterologist. The world will not cooperate with my autism and I don't know what to do about it. Maybe I'll make a video called What to Do When the World Won't Cooperate. Oh, thanks, Joanna. Yay. Yeah.
Kate Clark has good news. She has a new assistance dog.
Hey! Someone has a new assistance dog. Congratulations, Kate. What kind of dog is it? How is it an assistance dog? Is it being trained by Pausable, or is it from Dogs for Good? Or we need more details about this assistance dog, including a picture, please. Yes, and thank you. Anyone who ever wants to send me a dog picture via email, do so, because Mr. Purple works as an electrician in various people's houses, and I, about a year ago, asked him to start doing this, and he has been doing it, that if he ever saw a really cute dog or a really cute cat, he must take a picture, or a video, preferably, and send it to me, because it brightens my day. And at one point, I tried to have a dog-only Instagram feed, because Instagram scared me, because there's this sense on Instagram, as an influencer, which I hate the word, that you have to present these beautiful, curated pictures, and they should all be the same colour, so you've got a colour theme on your Instagram, and they should all be like well edited and yada yada yada. So I got scared of Instagram. I had a reasonable following on Instagram, but I got scared and I deleted it, because I'm not going to do something on the internet for the sake of having followers, because that's just like, what's the point in that? So I deleted it so that Instagram wouldn't be stressful, and I started a new account in which I was just going to follow dog accounts, and for about 6 months I had this dog themed Instagram account, which was delightful. But then some of you guys were like, it'd be quite nice if you had Instagram, so I started Instagram again. But I have quite a small following on Instagram, so it doesn't feel too pressured. And even if I got a larger following on Instagram, I would still continue to post whatever I wanted to on there, because actually I think that's a good approach to everything that I do. I should just do what I want to do, because the more that I do what I want to do, the happier I am, and the better I'm going to be at what I do. And that is my speech about that. Ta-da! Did I hear about J.K. Rowling's tweets? Yes, I saw J.K. Rowling's tweets. I also saw Daniel Radcliffe's follow-up tweets, which I did like, or article, or whatever it was that he said. Yeah, I'm actually, I'll talk about that a little bit later, but it's obviously a personal topic to me. I didn't like what J.K. Rowling said, but it's complicated, isn't it? It's really complicated, and I don't really know what to say or how to feel about that. So, I love Harry Potter, but I don't love what she said. How do we deal with that? How do those of us who love Harry Potter, and also those of us who've been feminists through our life, it's very nuanced and very complicated, and I don't really know how to respond to that situation, so I'm not going to. Is that okay? Do we have any more questions?
What was Daniel Radcliffe's response?
Daniel Radcliffe's response. So those of you that don't know what we're talking about, I should probably explain, because people are going to watch this back that aren't here. I always forget when I'm making these that people watch it afterwards. So J.K. Rowling basically was taking issue with the fact that words like chest feeder and people who menstruate were replacing women as a term, because trans men menstruate. I can't say menstruate. It's the boob hands. That's the problem. It's stopping me being able to say menstruation. Trans men menstruate, and trans men chest feed. But it's tricky, isn't it? Because I breastfed my children. I didn't chest feed them. I breastfed them. But I don't object to using the word chest feed for someone who is chest feeding. Can we not use all the words so that everyone's covered? Anyway, she took issue with that and was basically saying that it was erasing 20 years worth of feminism. So then Daniel Radcliffe came back and said, trans women are women, and to say otherwise is wrong. I can't remember the exact words, but basically he was standing up for trans rights and saying that trans women are women, trans men are men. It's tricky, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, and I say that as someone who's very, very, very close to someone who is trans. And not just my own child, but I also know other trans people, and I support them 100%. But yeah, I don't know. It's complicated, isn't it? Yeah.
Catherine asks, how do you cope with small build-ups of change so that they happen over a period of time? So coping with lots of little changes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think that's quite an accurate... so Catherine's asking, how do you cope with lots and lots of little changes all happening? And I think that the current sort of changes to the lockdown really hit that spot quite nicely. Like, now we can meet 6 people. Oh, now we can go shopping. Oh, now we can go to the zoo. And it's lots of little incremental changes towards, I guess, being out of lockdown. Whether that's right or whether that's not right, that is what's happening, and it's very stressful, and I find it really, really difficult. But I think it's about ownership of your own situation and your own choices. So some of those changes are unavoidable, and some of those changes don't have to apply to you. So I guess it's figuring out exactly which changes you have to deal with to start with, because just because something's changed, that doesn't mean you have to change. And then it's about actually not necessarily how you deal with the changes, but how you structure your life and structure your self-care so that your overwhelm and your overload is at manageable levels before those changes are adding that extra stress. Because I know that for me, when I am not engaging in good self-care and structuring my life in a way that suits my neurology, I am already at a level 10, so a little change will tip me over the edge. Whereas when I am doing all those things right, then I'm at a level 4 and I've got room to maneuver and cope with the added stress. I hope that's helpful. Words. I'm still thinking about boob hands, frankly, to be honest. Has anyone got a would you rather that's as funny as that, essentially? I think if you have, to hit me with it now, because I need to think about something else. I might even be inspired to do a drawing about that. Yeah.
What did Coco have to do for her assistance dog training?
What did Coco have to do for her assessment? So she is currently an assistance dog in training, which means that they have said that she is suitable to be trained to be an assistance dog, but she is not a fully qualified. She will need to take her accessibility test to be fully qualified. So what we had to do was go somewhere where there were lots of people, small children and other dogs, and sort of bits of stuff on the, potentially little bits of food on the floor or whatever. So we went somewhere that's a cafe that has an outdoor area because of lockdown, and we went for a little walk, and then we hung out at the cafe so she could see how Coco would respond to the people around us. And she had to be, not displaying any of the following things: aggression or too much anxiety. And she had to look like she would be trainable in any of the areas that she was not yet fully trained in. And also, the trainer said to me that she's not just looking at the dog, but she's also looking at the owner. Like, will the owner be able to manage the relationship with the trainer and with the dog to achieve the training that we're trying to achieve? Yeah. Yeah.
Ask the Angie, how do you help others around you understand the difficulty you face? She's usually told others have it worse.
How do you help other people understand the difficulties you face? Because you're told, because when you try and do that, you're told that other people have it worse. That's really difficult. I remember once when I was really deeply depressed, at a time in my life when I was really deeply depressed, situational depression, something had happened that most people would be quite deeply depressed about. And I remember my cousin texted me, "I've heard you're really depressed, but don't worry because people are starving in Africa." And I was like, yeah, okay, that doesn't really help though. And I think people say that because they want to reassure you that it's not that bad really, but what that does is minimises your experience and doesn't feel particularly supportive. And I think it's a combination of things that I've mentioned before really, which is to do with how you respond to that response. So I might go to someone and say, I feel terrible, and they might say, oh yeah, but you don't, I mean, look, you've got a nice husband and a nice house, and you know, you've not really got anything to worry about. And I could respond to that by going, oh gosh, yes, that's true, I must be terrible, I must be so weak, I must be so pathetic that I'm struggling, even though all these things are good for me, which I would not do because that's not true. Or I might think, oh, this person doesn't understand. They haven't developed their empathy or their listening skills enough to be able to support me with this particular thing, which means they are not a person for me to come to for this kind of support. So I can discount everything that they've just said and move on with my life. So there's that, how do you respond? How does it make you feel? Which is really important. And then on the other side of that is, if it's someone, say a parent or a best friend or a partner that you can't really go, well, I'm just not going to come to you for that anymore. It's about educating them in the particular problems that you are experiencing so that they can better understand, because it's a lack of understanding that's causing this. Hey Sam, nice to see you. So that you can better understand so that they can better understand what the problems that you're presenting them with are, and therefore help you better. I hope that's helpful. That's kind of where I would come from with that, because I think sometimes when people sort of say to us, oh, yeah, it's not that bad really, you feel like it's not that bad really and you're being pathetic, which isn't true. That's just their response. And I think that's like actually a really good tip for everyone that says anything to you that you don't love, is someone saying something to you does not make it true. Yeah.
A couple of quick ones, quick fire. Would you rather go to the North or the South Pole?
Would I rather go to the North or the South Pole? I don't know where the North and the South Pole are.
The top one's at the bottom.
Which countries are we talking about?
They're not countries.
So one's
The Arctic, one's the Antarctic.
One's the Arctic and one's the Antarctic. So both cold.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the penguins?
South.
So which one is that?
Antarctic. South Pole.
South Pole, so that I can see the penguins.
God, so many questions. Okay.
Sorry.
Would you rather
Ella's terrible geography rears its ugly head.
Would you rather have naturally purple eyes or the colour you have now?
Would I rather have naturally purple eyes or the colour I have now? Naturally purple, obviously. That would be amazing. Also, yeah, that would just be amazing. Definitely. But I wouldn't be doing purple contact lenses because there's no way I'm going to be poking anything in my eye. The North Pole is full of polar bears. Ooh.
And seal and Arctic foxes.
And then I could ride a polar bear with my boob hands to hold the reins while I wave at people. Anyone that's come in since the boob hands question probably has no clue what I'm talking about now. Penguins won't eat me. That's a very good point, Catherine. Absolutely. Yeah. I'd quite like to go to, not that anyone's asked me, but I'm going to tell you anyway. There's a beach in Africa where penguins come and it's sunny. So sun and penguins and a beach in one place. Because I do love a penguin. Penguins are so ridiculous, aren't they? I saw a post on Facebook this morning that penguins had come across a camera that had been put there to monitor the penguins for whatever reason. Something conservational, I think. But they'd managed to get hold of it and taken a selfie of themselves. The world's first penguin selfie. I have some podcast recommendations. If you guys, I considered adding podcast recommendations to my things that I recommend. This is really me neatly segueing into telling you about the podcast that I just listened to that I really loved. So I think you guys should listen to it. So I've been listening to recently Louis Theroux, who I really love. I love Louis Theroux. Has started to do a podcast called Grounded that he started during the lockdown, and he interviews people during lockdown, which is great and really interesting. And he's interviewed some really interesting people like Helena Bonham Carter, Lenny Henry, etc. But today I got like a dream come true in that, as well as loving Louis Theroux, I also love John Ronson, who wrote The Psychopath Test and The Men Who Stare at Goats, amongst other. He's made documentaries, he's written other books, he's fantastic. And Louis Theroux interviewed John Ronson on his Grounded podcast, and it's such a great listen. And to add to that, I've actually met John Ronson and chatted to him. I went to a conference where he was speaking back when I was a mommy blogger, and I had to go over and talk to him because here's the great thing. It sort of helped me start my public speaking, because he came out to do his public speaking, got out a piece of paper, opened up this piece of paper and stood and read his public speech from the piece of paper. And it worked because what he was saying was really, really interesting. So it didn't matter that he wasn't doing the whole eye contact, fancy speaker thing, because it was about what he was saying. And that gave me the confidence in the early days of public speaking to do the same thing. So, you saw Louis Theroux. Oh my goodness. So, does that mean that because I've been in the same room as you, Simon, and you have basically met Louis Theroux, I have basically met Louis Theroux? I think that's what it means. I think that's what that means. Right, I am probably coming to the end of it. So if you have another question, now is the time to ask. Yep.
Would you rather live in a film/TV universe or live in a book universe?
Would I rather live in a film/TV universe or a book universe? I would rather live in a film/TV universe, specifically the Gilmore Girls. Yeah, that's where I'm living.
Answered my second question.
What was the second question? Which one?
Yeah, specifically which universe?
Yeah, the Gilmore Girls. I'd love to live in the Gilmore Girls, where you get to eat all the time and have no consequences to your health. Eat junk food all the time and have no consequences to your health whatsoever. And everyone's happy most of the time. And everyone wears jumpers. And it's just lovely, isn't it? It's just a lovely, lovely world. Yeah, mother and daughter goals. Absolutely, 100%. What was that? Would you rather live in a world without purple or solely the wrong shade of purple? Is there a wrong shade of purple? I don't think there's a wrong shade of purple. So, obviously, solely the wrong shade of purple, because that would still be right for me. I don't think there's a shade of purple you could find that I do not love. They're all good. Right, so I'm aware that it's been, let me tell you some things. I'm aware that it's been a bit of a rambly and humorous live stream today, but I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I will try and come up with something interesting and fun to do next week. If you have any suggestions for interesting, fun things for me to do next week, leave me a comment in the comment box below, because I would love to not have to think for myself. Hooray! Once again, thank you to the purple people. Thank you to the rest of you for being here and supporting me in your own way. This Friday, I am doing something that is very, very, very scary and terrifying. In fact, I think I WhatsApped Sam this very morning at like 8 o'clock, like, I'm really scared of this thing. I have put up to premiere a video about my daughter who is transgender. Now, this is something that's been happening in our lives for quite a long time now that I have not felt ready to speak about publicly, partly out of kind of fear of using my child's experience for other people's entertainment, which does not feel right, partly wanting to protect her from any negative comments on the internet about that experience. But I have decided that our experience, now that I've had some time to reflect and focus my thoughts on it, could be useful to other parents and other children in similar situations. And I have also decided that if someone leaves a mean comment, I have the power to delete it. So I can just do that and protect her that way. Therefore, I have set up a premiere for 6 o'clock on Friday. So 6 p.m. British summertime, whatever that means, on Friday on my channel. I will be in the comments of my video about my transgender daughter, and hoping that everyone's really kind about it, because it's scary and terrifying to be putting that out there. Yep.
Susan's asked, if you're at the NEC in December, which day are you scheduled to speak?
Yes, I am speaking at the Autism Show, if it goes ahead, in December on the Saturday, which I believe is the 12th of December. It's the 11th and 12th, I think, and I'm on the 12th in the afternoon, both things in the afternoon, doing a talk about autism and bereavement, which is a talk that I think is really valuable and useful and not something we talk about very often. And also on a neurodiverse YouTubers panel with Dan from the Aspie World and Connor Ward and someone else who I'm terribly sorry, I've forgotten who they are, but someone else. Not any women though. Not enough women talking about autism on the internet. Yes, so please join me for the my premiere on Friday, and please join me for my live stream next week. If you would like a double premiere on Friday, Sam is also premiering her video on Friday, which I think is at 3 o'clock on 3 o'clock British Summer Time. Is that right, Sam? Let people know in the comments when yours is, so you could watch that, have your dinner, have a break, and then come and watch mine. What could be more fun? Hurrah.
Final question, what's your necklace?
What's my necklace? It is a golden stitch. Snitch. It's not a stitch. See, I told you my brain wasn't working. A golden snitch. It's a golden snitch. It's not a video that Super Kid's in. She does not wish to be in front of the camera, but she has watched the video. She approved the script. She watched the video. She approved the video. It's all been completely approved by her, but she would rather I talk about it because she is not a fan of talking on the internet. She's quite, like Mr. Purple, quite private in that way. Right, well, lovely to see you all. Don't forget to tell me what I'm doing next week, and I'll see those of you that are there on Friday. If not, I will see you here next week. If not, I will see you someday in the future, and don't forget your boob hands. Bye-bye.